Hey guys, I have come again to take another reacting video. The name of my today's reacting video is Top 10 World's Unsolved Mysteries. There are many unsolved mysteries in life, even though science, technology, and research have come a very long way. Although we may demand a logical explanations for these mysteries thing, as of now we will have to settle with mere speculations until these mysteries are resolved. Enjoy our 10 greatest unsolved mysteries ever. Which one is your favorite unsolved mysteries? So let's see the video top 10 world's unsolved mysteries.
The Voynich manuscript. Named after the Polish-American book dealer who purchased it in 1912, the Voynich manuscript is often touted as the world's most mysterious manuscript. The
Really puzzling
240-page book is
incident.
written in an unknown language that is yet to be deciphered, even after a century, leading many to suspect
Massively
that it may
peculiar.
simply be nonsense. But it isn't just the text that doesn't make sense.
Extremely
Alongside
puzzling matter.
abstract astrological drawings, the Voynich manuscript features detailed diagrams of plants that don't match any known species on Earth. The
Really
original author of
peculiar.
the manuscript remains unknown, but carbon dating does confirm that the pages were created between 1404 and 1438 and printed on calfskin rather than paper. So even if it is
Really
a hoax,
puzzling incident.
it definitely isn't a modern one. Some believe the manuscript to be based on medieval medicine, whilst others suggest it to be a pharmacopoeia, which is a type of book dedicated to detailing the production
Strange.
of drugs. There's a case to be made for the latter argument, particularly if the author was dabbling in the fruits of his research a little more often than was perhaps wise. Some theorists have even suggested the book may be of alien origin, with generations of the world's best cryptographers failing to decipher the text of the book. But despite substantial research, no evidence has surfaced, leaving the purpose and nature of this bizarre manuscript a fascinating unsolved mystery. Number 9. The Taos Hum. The small town of Taos in New Mexico is haunted by a strange buzz, which many describe as being similar to the sound of a distant diesel engine. It can easily be heard by the naked ear, but sound detection
Strange
devices such as
location.
microphones and VLF antennae
Really
are
strange.
entirely unable to pick it up. To this day, no one knows the origin of the sound or the reason behind this phenomenon. Generally heard only in quiet
Truly
environments,
curious.
this low-pitched sound can now be heard in various locations around the globe, ranging from Northern Europe, the USA, and even the UK.
Exceptionally strange
And despite a
adventure.
1997 order from US Congress to investigate the phenomenon, the prestigious research institutes involved were unable to discover anything, and the hum
Really
remains one of
curious.
the world's weirdest unsolved mysteries. Number 8. The Aluminium Wedge of Ayod. Found in 1974,
Another
the
peculiar
aluminium wedge of
happening.
Ayod was found in a sand trench 10 meters deep in Romania, in the Roman town of Ayod. It was confirmed to be at least 400 years old, which didn't make much sense. Aluminium was discovered
Undoubtedly
in
possible.
1808 and not produced in large quantities until the mid 1880s. Stranger still,
Especially peculiar
the wedge was
escapade.
found alongside mastodon bones, an ancient sort of elephant thing that hasn't been alive for at least 11,000 years. The scientific consensus is that the wedge was made on Earth, with its purpose yet to be identified,
Really
but many
puzzling.
claim the artifact to be proof of an alien visit to Earth. Maybe they accidentally landed their spaceship on a mastodon, which frankly strikes us as being a bit clumsy.
Peculiar escapade.
Number 7. The Overton Bridge. The Overton Bridge in Scotland remains a mystery due to suicidal dogs. This phenomenon began in the 1950s when people started noticing dogs suddenly and inexplicably jumping off the
Another
bridge and
curious
falling to their
affair.
death on the rocks below. The majority of the dogs jumped from almost exactly the same spot, between the two final parapets on the right-hand side of the bridge. Over the past 50 years, around 50 dogs have mysteriously decided to make this grisly leap,
Certainly
with
strange.
5 deaths reported over a 6-month period in
Tremendously
2006.
curious
But
procedure.
strangely, only long-nosed breeds seem to be affected. Retrievers, Labradors, and Collies, with some believing that the irresistible smell of mink is to blame for so many mutts
Really
making
strange.
the jump. Why this exact spot of this exact bridge has caused so many dogs to leap to their deaths
Curious
remains
procedure.
a mystery, but it seems like the real mystery at this stage is why they haven't put a bloody fence up yet. Number 6. The Loch Ness Monster. The Loch Ness Monster has never been formally discovered, but has allegedly been sighted a number of times. The unknown animal that inhabits Loch Ness in the Scottish Highlands has baffled
Mystifying
scientists for
matter.
decades, with purported photos of a giant sea serpent living in the murky depths. Nessie became an
Truly
international
uncanny.
sensation after it appeared in the headlines in 1933. The report quoted someone as seeing
Immensely
something that resembled
mystifying
a dragon
incident.
or prehistoric animal. Nessie was apparently again spotted in 1960
Really
when an
mystifying.
aeronautical engineer filmed a moving hump in the water of Loch Ness. Digital enhancements of the footage years later seemingly revealed 2 more humps, a rear body and flippers. Despite the almost celebrity status of the Loch Ness Monster, there haven't been any verified sightings of the creature since the 1920s, which seems suspect considering the attention it receives. Number 5. Stonehenge. Stonehenge remains one of the world's greatest unexplained mysteries. Estimated to be more than 5,000 years old, the reason why these large rocks were placed remains unexplained. Excavations point towards Stonehenge being
Public
built in 4 stages,
circumstance.
the first being a series of holes dug around 3100 BC, intended for religious ceremony. 1,000 years later, enormous bluestones from mountains in Wales were transported more than 240 miles to the Stonehenge area. Now, this was apparently achieved
Absolutely
before the wheel
inexplicable.
was invented, so how they accomplished this is perhaps the biggest mystery. Once transported, these
Use the
stones were
baffling
aligned perfectly
exploit.
with a midsummer sunrise, and the stones were subsequently
Really
set up to
why?
form an incomplete double circle. The third stage involved more stones being transported from the Marlborough Downs, a mere 25 miles away from the area. And the final stage occurred 5 centuries later, when the Welsh bluestones were rearranged into the site that we see today.
Absolutely
Even after all
inexplicable.
this, the meaning of Stonehenge still remains unclear. It could have been an observatory, a burial ground, or maybe just a really nice place to chill out. At this stage,
Truly
we'll never
baffling.
truly know. Number 4. Jack the Ripper. During 1888, East London witnessed a series of horrific murders, most of which occurred in the Whitechapel area. The name Jack the Ripper came from a letter sent to the newspaper at the time from an individual claiming to be behind the murders. The majority of his victims were prostitutes, their throats were cut, and bodies severely
Uncanny
mutilated,
matter.
with some of the bodies being discovered just minutes after the killer left the scene. Police at the time had several suspects but lacked
Questionably
the evidence for
mystifying.
any formal conviction, leaving history to speculate in often wild ways, with some pointing the finger at Prince Albert Victor, who is Queen Victoria's grandson.
Abundantly
The
uncanny
most popular
affair.
theory is that Jack might have been a doctor or a butcher, based on the evidence of the weapons used and an apparent knowledge of human anatomy. On a side
Questionably
note, Jack wasn't
mystifying.
the first serial killer, but he was probably the first to appear in a large metropolis at a time when the general populace had become literate and the press was a force for social change. The Ripper appeared amidst a time of tremendous political turmoil, with many reporting on the crimes in a manner that helped further ulterior agendas. Number 3, a wow signal. Jerry Eggman was a volunteer for the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence project and is believed by some to be the first human being in history to receive a message from an alien world. In 1977, while scanning deep space
Another
radio waves, he
inexplicable
suddenly witnessed
exploit.
his measurements spiking. The signal was strong and was
Genuinely
transmitted from the
baffling.
constellation Sagittarius, which is 120 light years away from Earth, which roughly equates to 126 trillion miles. All attempts to pick up the
Uncommonly
signal again
inexplicable
have since failed,
circumstance.
resulting in natural speculation about its meaning and origin. The signal's name was derived from the exclamation of "wow" that Jerry wrote in the
Genuinely
margin of the
baffling.
transmission's printout. Not exactly the most creative naming in the world there, chaps. Number 2, the Bermuda Triangle. Numerous aeroplanes and boats have seemingly disappeared in the ocean between Florida, San Juan, and Bermuda, with the area now ominously known as the Bermuda
Another
Triangle.
perplexing
Human
proceeding.
error, natural disasters, piracy, and equipment failure don't seem to be able to account for the mysterious loss of so many craft, leading to
Indeed,
intoxicating theories,
impenetrable.
including time warps. The first unsolved event took place during the 1950s. Flight 19 contained a group of 5 US Navy bombers who were on a training mission. The flight leader purportedly said, "We are entering white water.
Truly
Nothing seems
perplexing.
right. We don't know where we are. The water is green. No, white." It was later claimed that Navy officials stated the
Really
planes
impenetrable.
flew off to Mars, which frankly seems like a large leap of judgment. All 14 airmen on the flight were lost, as were all 13 crew members of a PBM Mariner, which apparently exploded whilst they were
Genuinely
searching
baffling.
for the original flight. While a considerable amount of documentation verifies that the actual number has been inflated, there remains no solid explanation
Questionably
for the large number
mystifying.
of disappearances in the area. Number 1, Flight MH370. Mystery has continued to surround the fate of Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370, which had 227 passengers and 12 crew members on board. The plane disappeared entirely during a flight from
Terrific
Kuala Lumpur to
escapade.
Beijing on March 8th, 2014. Since then, a multinational search and rescue effort, believed to be the largest in history, was initiated in the Gulf of Thailand
Undoubtedly
and the South
uncanny.
China Sea. Malaysia Airlines stated the plane lost contact less than an hour after takeoff, despite no distress signal or message being sent from the aircraft.
Mightily Delphic
While climbing
happening.
to its assigned cruise altitude of 35,000 feet, travelling at 542 miles per hour, it suddenly ceased all communications, and the transponder signal was lost. The crew was expected to contact air control in Ho Chi Minh City once the aircraft passed into
Impenetrable
the enemy's
adventure.
airspace, which was just north of the point where contact was lost. The captain of another aircraft sought to
Certainly
reach the crew of
perplexing.
flight MH370 just after 1:30 a.m. The captain
Supremely
said he established
impenetrable
contact,
occasion.
but just heard static and mumbling. Since its
Really impenetrable
disappearance, the
occasion.
search for the aircraft has covered 7.6 million square kilometers. That's equivalent to 11% of the Indian Ocean and 1.5%
Undoubtedly
of the surface
uncanny.
of the Earth. Public communication from Malaysian officials pertaining to the flight's disappearance have
Very
been
Delphic
subject to
happening.
much criticism. The New York Times stated the Malaysian government and the airline released incomplete, imprecise, and sometimes inaccurate information, while civilian officials have contradicted messages given
Supremely
by military leaders.
impenetrable occasion.
The seeds of distrust created by this have led to a number of conspiracy theories involving the Malaysian government, ranging from conventional attacks, hijacking, or a
Really
successful attempt to
uncanny.
hack the plane's systems. Alternatively, some even believe the flight to have been the victim of an extremely unlucky meteor strike. Two Iranian individuals were travelling on the plane with what turned out to be stolen passports, but investigation suggests no link to terrorist groups. There are also
Indeed
4 passengers who
impenetrable.
checked in for the flight but didn't show up to the airport. Only time will tell if we'll ever truly find out what happened to flight MH370, but in this day and age it's truly puzzling how a plane can simply vanish without trace.
Certainly
Unfortunately for the
perplexing.
families and friends of those on board, the truth behind the disappearance of flight MH370 may never actually come to light.
Really uncanny. Dear viewers, if you like my reacting video, then please subscribe my channel. You can see many nice videos from my channel. So let's see.